Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. This is where I take a deep dive into a particular subject, a particular creator, a particular trick, and I basically go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I tell you everything you need to know about that trick. And today, I'm going to be looking at the latest, hottest item in Magic, Stitch, by Murphy's Magic and Titanas. This has created a lot of buzz. There's a lot of people talking about this. So what's it like? Well, in this review show, you're going to find out. Now, I want to be honest with you. I'm always honest when this sort of thing happens. 95% of the stuff I buy, but Titanas sent me the trailer for this over, and he sent me the tutorial literally about a month ago. So I've been aware of this for quite a while. And it gave me a chance to watch the tutorial, and then one came through the post. They just sent me one, which is really, really nice. So this was gifted to me. That is not going to alter my review in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. You will have noticed that my name is on the ad copy because I think this is very, very clever. Doesn't mean that there's not negatives with it, and I'm going to go through absolutely everything on this review. So, for those of you that don't know who Titanas is, he works in the creative team or the studio department. The studio department at Murphy's Magic are the team that kind of create all of the magic directly for Murphy's. You've got people like Lloyd Barnes and Javier Fuenmayer and Titanas and Matt and all those sort of guys. And he works in the studio department. But he's not been around for a few years. He's been working behind the scenes. And this is his first release through his name for quite a while. But back in the day, if you're new into Magic, you might not realize this. Titanas was one of the biggest names in Magic. That's how he got his role in Murphy's. He's a creative powerhouse, has worked with people like Paul Harris, has worked on routines of his own, and has over the years brought out some of the best magic you'll ever see. I do like on the back of the box, by the way, big shout out to Murphy's for the new packaging. I love the new packaging that they're using right now. I think it looks great. I think it looks really good. All standardized, very, very nice. And Stitch, it's got about the artist. Titanas is a mastermind in magic, blending innovative illusions with captivating performance, renowned for pushing boundaries and inspiring magicians worldwide, well known for his finger. Which is true. If you look at the trailer for this, you'll see that they reference Titan's finger. Now, and there's even a video of me from many, many years ago and Dave Penn on the Wizard Product Review raving about Titan's finger. When that came out, that was one of the biggest tricks in Magic at the time. And everybody performed Titan's finger. It was basically a way of twisting your finger around and then twisting it back round. And it was not impromptu, but you can pretty much do it anytime, anywhere. Fantastic trick. And we raved about it, myself and David Penn. And that was kind of the trick that put him on the map. In fact, if you haven't seen the trailer for this, it's worth having a look at the trailer. We'll quickly play the trailer for you now, and then after you've seen the trailer, then we'll go into talking about exactly what it is that you get in the box.
Now, you guys have probably seen like a lady maybe getting in a box and they cut her in half. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna take the blade and watch.
Since 2009, hundreds of thousands have performed Titan's finger. And now, Titanas is back with his next weird illusion that will leave your spectators squirming out of their seats.
I want you to examine this to your heart's content. Go ahead. And then take a look at these blades. And all I'm gonna do is place my finger right inside the cylinder. We'll take one of those blades and you'll clearly see the blade go right from the top all the way down to the other side. You can clearly see that blade. I'll take that second blade and watch as the blade penetrates once again. Ooh, the finger, it goes straight through. And here, because the finger is technically severed, I can separate it from the other part. So I have one half here, the other half there. It's completely insane, but we're just gonna place it right back, wait a couple seconds, and immediately I can remove that blade check that blade out instantly, and then you can clearly see the blade goes up and down. Once again, you can check the blade out, and then if we look at the finger is 100% okay, and you can examine once again absolutely everything. It instantly resets. It fits in your pocket, ready for you to slice your audience's expectations at a moment's notice. I'm gonna take the blade and watch. Oh.
Did that hurt?
A little bit, a little bit. You get the other one. Let's try this. And watch, look.
Oh, dude. Oh.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Through.
No.
Simple to master. No contortion skills required. There's nothing quite like seeing your audience shocked, squirming, and screaming. With Stitch.
Okay, I think that they nailed it with that trailer. I think that's a really, really, really good trailer. I think that everything about this screams quality, right? So, by looking at the trailer, you're going to have a rough idea what Stitch is. As it says in the ad copy in the back, Stitch is the ultimate finger division illusion. Imagine this, with two sharp blades and a guillotine tube, you sever your finger into two separate parts. Your audience will be split between astonished, slightly squeamish, and horrified. But fear not, what has been split can now be stitched, and you impossibly restore your finger back to a single digit. Literally, both you and your finger can now be fully examined. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what happens. Now, there's a few things that you need to know. The first thing, and I'm going to show you a performance of this in a bit, that I'm done. But there's a few things that you need to know. So first of all, you get everything that you need inside the box. So you've got these beautiful blades. You've got everything that you need, all of the gimmicks. I'm not going to show you those. But when you get onto the actual tutorial, which is the first thing that we should talk about, there's two sections. The tutorial is headed up by Javier, who, as I've said many, many times, is one of the best teachers of magic in the business right now. And Javier goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So Javier explains everything. Now, there's two sections to the particular Stitch tutorial, two separate videos. The first video is the main video. That's going to run around about 45 minutes. I think it is 45 to 50 minutes. And there's live performances, which is great. There's performances to camera, which is also really, really good. And then Javier is going to go through everything that you need to know in order to perform this. Now, the first thing that you need to be aware of is, and I think I'm not giving too much away by telling people that at one point in the routine, there is a fake finger that is being used. Now, the fake finger looks pretty good. It doesn't, it would hold up to scrutiny. I think if you were right next to the person in their face, they might kind of question it. But as you do this, as you can see from the trailer, kind of stepped back a little bit. So you're performing it to a group. You can do it walk around, absolutely, not a problem. But you'd step back a little bit when you're doing this, if this kind of makes sense. But the fake finger looks good, but the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes after they've gone through what's in the box and what all of the different gimmicks do, the first 10 or 15 minutes is how to actually alter that fake finger to fit your skin color, because obviously not everyone has the same skin color, and if your skin color doesn't match the gimmick, then that's going to be an issue. So Javier is going to go through how to actually change that skin color so that no matter what ethnicity you are, no matter what color your finger, you're going to be able to perform this, right? So that's really cool. Now, let me talk about the positives first of all. And one of the big positives is how practical this is. What I mean by that is everything is self-contained in your pocket. So you would start off with everything in your right-hand pocket. You bring it out, and as you bring it out, you can hand everything out to examination at the beginning, and then you put your finger in and you're good to go. It is ready to go at a moment's notice, but everything's examinable at the beginning of the routine, which I think for something like this routine is very, very important. Now, at the end of the routine, everything's examinable again, so you can hand out everything to be examined. And as you take those bits and pieces back and put them in your pocket, it automatically resets for the next group of people. So it's an instant reset, it's examinable beforehand, it's examinable afterwards, which ticks a lot of the boxes as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's talk about angles, because this is an important consideration. You're going to see a performance of me doing it in a bit. And when you see a performance of me doing it, the way that I've done it in this performance is pretty much close to angle proof. You cannot look at this from behind, right? You just can't. You can't do this from behind. But if you bring your hand in here against your chest, people that are looking sort of from 180 degrees won't really see anything. But you have to be careful about your angles. But when you watch my performance, the way I do it is pretty much fine. When you watch the trailer, you're going to see moments where Javier's doing it and it's like this. Now, that's absolutely possible to do if you've got control of the people in front of you, but it is more angly. So if you've got people to the far left, they're going to be able to see what's going on, or people looking down, it's going to be a little bit more obvious. So those displays that you see when Javier's doing it kind of like that, that's all well and good and that's great. But if you're working in an environment where, it's mix and mingle and everybody's around everywhere, you might not want to go into that handling. I have purposefully been practicing it like what you're going to see in a bit, which is doing it here and then coming down here to show. I think that's good enough. I think that's absolutely fine. Are there other shows that you can use that maybe make it look even more deceptive? Yes, but I think that's kind of thinking like a magician. I don't think you need those. I don't think you need those displays in there, and by using those displays, it does make everything a little bit more angly. Which brings me on to the second video. I said there were 2 videos in the tutorial. The second video is kind of like a palm up video, where and it looks amazing. Don't get me wrong, it looks amazing. It's kind of like this, and you'll see it in the trailer. It looks like there's nowhere that you could possibly hide your finger, right? It's very, very nice. It's very, very cool. But even Javier says on the second video, this isn't maybe something that you want to lead with. This is maybe the second handling that you want to use. I don't think that particular handling is as practical as the first handling. Yes, it looks better. And I think for social media, that's the one that we're going to see a lot of people using for sure. But I think if you're a practical working pro and you want to do this in the real world, you're going to want to use the first handling, and you want to kind of go with the displays that you're going to see me doing my performance in a bit. Now, that's just my opinion. I know that there's going to be people out there that disagree with me, and there's people that are going to be out there that are going to say, hey, no, this is the handling to use, and that's absolutely fine. But in my opinion, you want to really, you want to manage your angles on this, and you can manage the angles. This is something that you could absolutely perform, and something I plan on performing, but you want to make sure that it's the correct way, if that makes sense. You want to make sure that you take into consideration the environment you're in, you take into consideration to the angles that you have, and you pick the appropriate handling. The good news is that Javier is going to go through a ton of different handlings for you. So there's that. That's worth noting. So you can go through a ton of different stuff, and you can go and pick the thing that's best for you. Right, now, the quality of the props are really well made. The blades look great, and the actual cylinders look great. How it actually works and how it all comes together is fantastic. I kind of had a rough idea what was going to happen and what was going on, but I wasn't 100% sure. And when I actually saw the tutorial, I was like, okay, yeah, that's really smart. That's really, really clever. That's really smart. The way that they've got it is very, very clever. The other thing is that they actually use, without giving too much away, within the box, they actually have, hopefully you can see this. Let me take a couple of these bits out here. In the box, you can actually see that they've got 2 different sizes of cylinder. And the reason for that is because they've taken into account that some people have smaller fingers, some people have longer fingers, some people have bigger hands, some people have got smaller hands, and they've included more than one gimmick, so that regardless of what your hand size is, this is going to be able to work for you, which is really smart. So when Ryland does this, he uses the smaller one. When I do it, I've been using the bigger one. And that brings me on to something else, which is you are going to need to practice this. This is something that's going to need to be practiced. This reminds me a little bit of demi-deck. And the thing with demi-deck is a lot of people were rushing out to do it on social media straight away. And they were performing it to their socials, and that's all well and good, and that's absolutely fine. But a lot of people were flashing the demi-deck, right, because they hadn't kind of mastered it. It's the same with this. This is kind of very easy to understand. It's easy to do. But it's going to take a lot of practice to make it look really, really good, to the point where you're not actually, where it looks kind of as good as Javier does it on the trailer, if that makes sense. This is not the sort of thing that you could spend an hour practicing this, and after an hour you could do it competently. But realistically, to be able to perform it to real people, you're going to need like a week or two in order to make it look really good. And I'll show you the performance now, actually. The performance that I do, this is after about 2 weeks practice. Now, I've never been very good at finger-related magic. I remember many years ago trying to do Mia Yedid's Finger Fantasies and failing miserably. I'm one of the only people that seems incapable of doing Freak by Will Houston, or, like Nicholas Lawrence's Pulling the Finger thing off. I'm just crap at anything like this. So it's taken me quite a bit of practice to get to this point. Now, do I think this is perfect? No. Would it pass in a real world? Yes. I've not done this in a gig yet, but I have shown it to a couple of friends that aren't magicians, and they loved it. But I want to practice. I do want to do this. And because I think this would be perfect for me as an illusionist, because it'll allow me, a lot of the time I get booked for an illusion show and I'm doing close-up magic beforehand, and I love the idea, and that's how I use demi-deck. I love the idea of going around and saying, well, in a bit I'm going to do a show on that stage over there, but let me show you an example of something I'm going to be doing later on. I love this, and it takes up no pocket space. Great, right? But I'm going to need a bit more practice before I'm 100% there, and I'm well aware of that. So the performance you're going to see, it's great for Magic TV, because I'm going to be able to perform this to you and show you what it's like after about a week of practice, and it'll be great for a Magic Live. But in terms of actually doing it on my socials that lay people watch, no, it's not there yet. But it will be. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's not the sort of thing that you can rush. You're going to need to take practice. You're going to have practice with this in order to make it look really, really good. And in actual fact, on the back of the box, there's a skill level thing, and they give it beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. And they've highlighted in the beginner section. I disagree with that. I don't think this is for a beginner. You're going to need to be able to palm. You're going to need to be able to kind of do a kind of a switch thing, which happens automatically, but you still have to kind of execute it smoothly. You're going to have to, the cleanup at the end, you can fumble on if you're not careful. I don't think this is a beginner trick. I think this is kind of intermediate, if I'm being completely honest. I think that Murphy's got it wrong on the back of the box, but, that's just my opinion. Let's have a look at a performance of this now. Okay, so if Jack was here and could be bothered to turn up for work, I would have him examine these. You're behind the camera, you've got your hands busy, Michael. But can you see there's nothing?
Yeah, they look like regular cylindrical tubes.
That's because they are regular cylindrical tubes. I also have these two blades, and we're going to try and do an illusion. This is an illusion, this is not real. It looks real, but it's not. It's very important that you understand this, that this is not real. Please do not try this at home. I will take no responsibility for lost limbs. Now, first of all, the finger goes inside the cylinder of death. It's not really, I'm not going to die though if it doesn't work. That sounds too dramatic, doesn't it? Cylinder of death. The finger goes inside the cylinder of decapitate. No, that's the head, isn't it? That's when you take the head off and then you're dead. So that's not good either. The finger goes inside the cylinder of stupidity. You'd have to be stupid to do this. Right. Cylinder of stupidity. Let's see if we can do this. Watch. Solid through solid. Ow, 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 ow. How's that look? Should look like it's
Yeah,
gone right
it's
through.
gone
Doesn't it
right
look
through.
Right through, yeah. Let's see if we can do this again. Right, watch this one. This one right here. This one hurts even more than the first. It's not going through. Do you know what it's not going through? It's hitting bone. It's hitting bone. That's the problem. There we go. Hang on. I'm through the bone. I'm through the bone. I'm through the fleshy part. It's still not going through. It's hitting my bone. There. That's when it goes through. In fact, I can actually show you that it's gone right through. I mean, that is ridiculous. I will tell you, it's only an illusion. It's not real. It looks real. Genuinely, it looks real, but it's not. It's only an illusion, and I'll show you why. If I take out the first blade, and I would give this to you. Take out the second blade, and I would give this to you. All I have to do is come over and pull my finger out. Ow, ow, ow. And look at that. It's actually attached still, which is great. And the thing is, what I can do is I can actually take this and I can take it apart. I can give this piece. I can give this piece out. I can give these out. I can give everything out to be examined because it was all now completely examinable. And my finger is intact and perfectly good. Okay, so that's everything that you need to know about Stitch. Do I like it? Yes. Is it clever? Yes. Can I see a lot of people performing this? Yes. Is it great for social media? Absolutely. Will it work in a live environment? Yes. The only thing that I would say is if you're performing in a live environment, be aware of your surroundings. If you're working in a restaurant and you're going up to tables, this is great because you can take a slight step back and you're in control of everyone's angles. It's not like they're going to be coming around the back of you. If you're doing a strolling and mix and mingle gig, this is fine as long as you're aware of where people are standing. If you're doing a formal close-up show, this is great. There's a lot of places that you can use this, but be aware of your angles. It's not bad from an angles point of view, but it's something that you need to be aware of. And as I say, luckily, you can adapt how you perform this based on the angles that you have in front of you. I think I'm going to see a lot of people doing this. I think I'm going to see a lot of people doing this on social media. As I say, coming up to Halloween, I think this is going to be everyone's favourite trick. I saw on the internet somewhere that somebody said, oh, this doesn't look very good because, you know, what is it? It's a plastic box. Or it's with some blades. It doesn't make any sense. And I just think that is rubbish and ridiculous because as magicians, we carry around a bunch of weird shit with us all the time. You know, look, I've got a little red sponge ball. I've got a little metal cup, and inside the metal cup are some weird ass little crocheted cork balls with little crocheted sweaters on. I've got a pack of cards. What normal people carry around a pack of cards? I've got a giant piece of rope and a big metal ring. You know, we carry around weird stuff anyway. And I don't think it's a negative that this has got like a little thing that you put your finger in. You're a magician. You're meant to be able to do magic. And if you hook them in by saying, hey, I've always wanted to do the big grand stage illusions that you see people do, like David Copperfield, but I don't really have the budget for that. However, I figured out a way of doing a version of that, not with a glamorous assistant, but with my finger. Would you like to see it? Now, every single illusionist has a box. Instead of a box, I've got a tube. Do you want to examine it? And then remember, everything's examinable at the beginning and everything is examinable at the end. So I really don't think it's too much of an issue, to be honest. The teaching is great. The live performances, multiple live performances are very much appreciated. The fact that they went to the trouble of doing 2 videos with a completely different handling is very much appreciated. The quality of your props, very much appreciated. And there's nothing else out there like it. This has a very Tenyo feel to it, and I mean that in a good way. It's like Tenyo, but without the toy factor. It has a very much an Angelo Carbone effect, feel to it. If I was Angelo Carbone, I'd be kicking myself right now, wondering why the hell I didn't think of this. This is the sort of thing I could imagine Angelo coming up with. It's very, very strong. I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely going to perform this. 100% I'm going to perform it, but be prepared to practice. Now, it just might be me being shit, you never know, very possibly could be, but you are going to need some practice in order to make this look smooth. And that's all you need to know about that. The props are going to last a long time. The teaching is good. The effect is good. It's very, very different to anything else out there. It's not a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's like illusionette. It's a mini illusion, which is why I'm going to give this 98%. This is definitely in the running for the top 10 tricks of 2024. I don't know if it's the top one, because there's been so much stuff come out this year that's very, very good, but it's definitely in the running, and I think this is something that a lot of people are going to buy. Unfortunately, I think a percentage of people are going to put it in the bottom drawer, because they're going to buy it, they're going to rehearse it for 10 minutes, go out and perform it to somebody, flash, not have any confidence in it, and put it in the bottom drawer or sell it on. And I think that's a shame, because if you give this trick the respect that it deserves, I think this could be a mainstay in your act. And let's be honest, it takes up no space in your close-up case, it takes up no space in your pocket, and it's instantly reset. 98% from me. It's another winner from Titanas. Titanas, welcome back. So there you go, guys. That's another review show in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have Stitch? By the time this video comes out, it's been out a few days, so you might have it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Inquiring minds want to know. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and also join the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com. We had an amazing VMC last week, all on thumb tips. In the silver level, we have these virtual magic clubs, which every week we have a virtual magic club. There's 4 a month, and it's different subjects every single time. It's like a magic club where we all hang out together, and there's a different subject every single time. And we just did one on thumb tips, and I was going through a ton of routines with thumb tips. People loved that. That was really cool, really great VMC. And if you're in the Netrix, I'll see you on Sunday, tonight. By the time you watch this, I think the VMC starts at 10. This goes up at 9. So if you're watching this, I'll see you in an hour on the Netrix. If you're not a member of the Netrix, you can't attend, I'm afraid. But if you are a member of the Netrix, jump on in. This is the last one of September, and I'm going to be talking about all of the tricks that are coming out for the next 6 months. And I'm actually going to be showing them on camera and talking through what they are, all of my releases for the next 6 months. So hopefully I'll see you there in the VMC. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Congratulations, Titanas. This is available from all good magic dealers. Well, it's sold out, but it's going to be back in stock again soon, hopefully. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.